Markham, Riverdale, Calumet City, Dalton, Phoenix, South Holland, Calumet Park, Harvey, and Posen, along with indirect benefits to other suburbs around that area. A couple of the questions that have come up on the tours, one question was how often will the reservoir fill up all the way to the top? So the district has done some modeling, and what it appears like is that the reservoir will fill with a 20-year storm event. And essentially what that means is not that it's going to happen once every 20 years, but the 20-year storm event is the event that occurs with a 5% probability every season or every year. So it could happen more than once a year, it could happen multiple times a year, but it's the storm event that occurs annually with a 5% probability. However, if the reservoir is already half full, then we wouldn't need a 20-year event. We could possibly fill the rest of it with a 10-year or a 5-year storm event. Another question sort of piggybacking that one is, how long will it take to dewater the reservoir once it's full at the top? And assuming that once we start the dewatering process, there are no other rainstorms, and assuming that our pump stations are at 100% capacity at the Calumet water plant, the water reclamation plant, our calculations show about 18 to 20 days will be the time period it will be to dewater the reservoir. Again though, that's assuming no other rainfall, and it's a two-step process. The first step is to dewater the Calumet Tarp Tunnel, which takes 2 days, and then once that's empty, we'll open up the gates, let the reservoir fill back into the tunnel, and it'll take 18 to 20 days to drain down the reservoir. So you can see the bedrock goes almost all the way up to the surface, and that's why this is such a great place for a quarry. It's one of the only places in the state where the bedrock, the dolomite bedrock, goes almost all the way up to the surface with very little clay or sand or topsoil. But it's also a great reason why it's a tremendous place for a reservoir of this nature. So the district entered into an agreement with Hansen Material Service, HMS, back in 1998. This reservoir was already part of the active mining process, and at that point HMS and the district agreed to the final design specs for the reservoir. There was still some mining that needed to be completed, so they continued to work on that. The economy in the late 2000s slowed the process down a little bit as all the stone from this quarry was going to construction projects in the Chicago area, but as construction came to a screeching halt, the mining process slowed down. But the first step was to put the dam up to cover up the haul road, and then the haul tunnels that were below were still being used to take the rocks out of this reservoir, or this quarry at the time, to the other side where it's processed and sold. We'll move up here to almost the top of the ramp. Now on the north rim, there is an overlook structure. You'll probably see that in a little bit. That's mostly for district purposes, just to monitor the reservoir and how high the water is. This won't be open for public use. It won't be a public park. It'll be fenced off against reliability and safety concerns.
I'm glad we're at the tops, yeah.
So, any questions?